going on, everybody? It's your boy Itz-Beez-Da TrackStar, and welcome back to another dancehall video tutorial. Another one where I continue on talking about mastering. So this time we are going to master a track, partially a rhythm and a vocal. So the front half are vocals, the back half are just a rhythm. Inside of Ozone 9. It would be the same thing in Ozone 8, 7, 6, 5. I have all of them. So that's why I say that. So let's jump into it. So we have Ozone up right now, right? So you have two ways you can import the track. You can either go import audio files or press Control and I. That do the same thing. Or you can just drag and drop. Me, personally, I go just drag and drop. Cool. So we have the file imported, as you can see from the waveform. It's just a mixed file, you understand what I say? When I load up Ozone for the first time, you always get the EQ and the maximizer. So we're going to close out them two modules there. So now we have a blank slate. Let's make Ozone a little bit bigger and go to a preview of the track. Yeah, I'm painting a picture. TrackStar.
Yeah, chilling in the field. So much ice on my wrist, my kind of feel frozen still. Man, I have to do the killing, even if I do the kill. Just look on him the wrong way, and one of the thugs, them I get him. Yeah. But right now, I be a pretty girl up on ya. Cuban girl from Havana, you know the back of the little van ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even too steer right. If me look back, the dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know.
Cool. So for whatever reason, Ozone show the rest of the wave file down towards the end. So let's get that out of the way. Cool. So first thing, we load up an EQ, right? You have EQ1, you have EQ2. I personally don't know the difference between the two, but yeah. So one EQ1, right? And I believe we can add more bands if we turn this into a digital EQ. Perfect. So we can add more bands, more frequencies, and all of that stuff. So the very first thing, just like I said when we are doing the other videos, you always want to filter, right? You always want to get rid of the stuff what you don't really need. You understand what I say? So we don't filter out up to about, I'll say about 35.
Come round me a fuck on ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even too steer right. If me look back, the dogs, them a tearing feet.
You know, just kind of listen to how the vocals come forward, because we are, you know, we are add clarity, we are get rid of mud. You know what I mean? That's how we call the area below 35, 40 hertz. You can't really hear it, you know what I mean? But it's there, you know, so it's a mud up or a go on, so you get rid of that. So in the top end, or on the top side of this, we will do the same exact thing. We are going to add a high filter or a low pass filter, right? So basically, this only make the low pass. So that's what I'm calling low pass filter. This is a high pass filter. Cool? Or a high cut. You can call it that too. So let's get rid of some of this. And we don't do a frequency up here. We'll do 19,980. Once again, above that, you can't really hear it, but it's there. So it mod up the mix. Alright, so don't get rid of all of them, huh? We don't need them. You know, we don't need none of these. We just need the filtering. Cool. So let's get rid of all of this. We just need them too, yeah. Cool. So once we're done with all of the filter and all of that stuff, that's cool. Right? Go into compression. So we'll go into dynamics right here. No, this is a multi-band, you know, type of thing. So we are going to make some points. Just make some points. Then we'll press learn and we'll play, and it will automatically separate high, mid, lows, and low mids. Alright, cool. So basically, this is what it say. These are the highs, these are the high mids, these are the low mids, and then these are the lows. So that's what it detect, right? So now what me I go do is me I go solo out, right? And determine where my crossover points them supposed to do. So where lows cross over into low mids and where mids cross over into high mids. You understand? So these are the bass. Alright, I like that. So let's do the mids now.
My dogs know how to bust clock to, and if your girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in a pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how to bust clock to, and if anyway, yes, God, used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer right. If me look back at that.
Yeah, I like them points there a lot more than what it detects for me. Cool. So now we are going and we're going to do some, some compression. So really want the vocals to kind of start come forward more to me, right? So we'll start up in the highs and the high mids. So solo out this. Cool. So we have a threshold over here, so of course. Right now it's set to -12. And then we have a ceiling as a limiter. We can limit what I go on. But we don't want to do that. We want it free if you do whatever. We just want some compression, 1, 2, or 1, 3 dB of compression, right? Ratio. We don't need the ratio for the no, we also how about do about 2.5 to 1 attack. Want a little bit slower. We are going to do 30 milliseconds. I always want the attack slower when you're in the mastering stage. So we'll do 30 milliseconds on the attack and as fast as possible upon the release. And notice the difference in a sound. Notice how it get louder. Because it a release faster. And then what that allow me to do is to compress more, because now we have a faster release, so the compressor now going to work super crazy hard because it release it so fast. And we also can do parallel compression, which we have no compression here, or we can just blend the compression with the dry signal. So we are going to do that to about 75% or so. So I do a little bit of parallel in there. Cool. Now if we take this out as solo and turn off the compressor, just listen to how the vocals come to life. And just kind of just come and turn up right in front of you. Understand what I say? That's exactly what I go for. So this is before. And that's the after, which is, like I say, exactly what I go for. Alright, so we'll kind of do the same thing in the low mids, right? But we'll do a little bit of a slighter 1.5 as far as the compression. We don't do the attack 40 milliseconds, so we'll make this even slower. But we're going to do a little bit of a tighter release, so we'll do about 100, right? And this is the thing, when you're doing, a lot of this stuff is knowing what to do, and knowing why you do it. So, I do a faster or I do a slower attack and a slower release here because we have a lot more information here. So what I want to do is I don't want to attack it too fast, but when it do get attacked, like when the compressor start compress it, I want it hold on for it a little bit longer, and that is why I do a longer release. You understand what I say? Or a slower release, however you want to call it. So the two of them section they're together right now. And we also don't do on the parallel side right here, we don't do. 1 second. I gotta do 80. Actually, no. We are gonna do 65. So I gotta do even more of a parallel type of thing right here, right? So what that do in turn is it keep the dry signal coming through, because remember we have a slower release, so we are compressed more. So you want to bring through some of the drier signal still, so that can compensate for the compression we're going here. So if we listen. Let's listen to the vocals once again. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in a pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how to know what I mean? Just if you listen to the vocals. And if you notice, I not add back no gain, you know, I not use no gain, I not do that right now. I just want to tighten up everything, want to do as much as I can do right now before I start add back volume. Right, so everything together again. Now at the top end, right, we'll do a little bit more of a drastic compression. I'll do 6 to 1. I'm going to do attack super fast, but we're going to release super fast as well. Because it's brighter, it's more information, it's like much more sensitive information. Some want it, you know, kind of do what I do and do it very, very fast. Actually, we'll put the release at 10 milliseconds, so it's not really too choppy. We'll put the knee, we'll make it a little bit rounder, so more of a softer knee, so it not just compress every fucking thing. Here though, we're going to turn on auto, and that is basically just auto makeup gain. So it can automatically bring back the same amount of volume over compress. So we can then lower the threshold a little bit more now because we have Ozone basically gain it back up itself. But them gain right so for the high mids and the low mids, we are going to gain that up ourselves. So let's go back out of the solo.
We not really give a fuck, bro. Money in a pocket. Yeah, the door. My thugs know if you bust like.
And now we're going to add back gain. So how much gain reduction we get? Alright, so if we look right here, so it will tell you how much gain reduction we get right in the middle. So we are over about 1 to 1.3, 1.4. So we are going to put 1.4. And then here, we are over about 1.1. So we got a little bit extra 1.3. And for bypass everything. Yeah, just watch how it come to life. Yeah, so you just watch how it come to life, you understand what I'm saying? Alright, so now let's move on into the next thing, typically in my chain, harmonics, right? So in an Ozone, you have the vintage limiter, the vintage tape, and then you also have the exciter, right? I like the tape machine from Waves, the J37, but in this situation, I don't have it, right? And the vintage tape in here, I don't really know how it works. So we're going to go with the exciter instead of that. And then once again, it's a multi-band thing, you know, so we're going to do the same thing. We'll click and add 3 points and then press learn and play. And if you even take it a step further, what we can do is really, we can just bring over the same points. So we have 192, 2.5, and 8.1, you know, instead of trying to do something new. So the first one was 192. And then the second one was 2.5. Oh, 2.5K. 2.5K. What the hell? 192. 2.5K. And then 8.1K. Cool, so that was our points, right? So now, what we can do, if you listen, with the exciter, right? We have different, damn, it's been a while since we used this. Oh my God, just get happy. So if you look, we have different modes, right? So we have 4 modes. We have, you know, same thing, low mids, highs. We have different type of saturation we can imply. So we have different type of harmonics what we can do. So we have, you know, analog, retro, tape, tube, warm, triode. So let's try this. So watch this, watch. So that's a triode. That's a tape. That's a tube. You know, so it's basically we don't just incorporate and try, you know, push some life out of this. So we're really gonna focus on the mids, the low mids and the high mids. So let's start with the high mids once again. I like the dual triode.
and
solo.
My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl
take it
come
out.
round me, I fuck that door. We not really give a fuck, bro. Money in a pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round me, I fuck that door.
You know, very subtle, but it worked.
On your boss it on me got stamina. Any mix with the ramina. Done me don't wanna run to
low mids I know.
Yeah. Anywhere I'm going use my face card. Used to run the road them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer right. If me look back at dogs them a tear face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give
Alright. This is a perfect example of doing some ear training. Notice, when we turn this on, the vocals on the far left and the far right, the image, the wideness of the vocals just pop up and come to life. Pretty. So this is without it. Matter of fact, just for this, I'm going to raise up the output. I'm going to raise the volume real quick. I'll just add one good 4 dB. Pretty vocals on the left and the right.
Anywhere I'm going use my face card. Used to run the road them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tear face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock.
You understand, the vocals just come super wide and, you know, just kind of get brought to life, which is cool. So let's back off of this a little bit, because of course we exaggerate it. And then put this back to 0. And now, we don't do mix, so we don't blend this one, because we don't want to do just 100% on the mix, or blend it.
Boss it on me got stamina. Any mix with the ramina. Done me don't wanna run too ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going use my face card. Used to run the road them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tear face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to.
Cool. I will do the same tape. I will do a less of a mix. Find a good mix point.
On your boss it on me got stamina. Any mix with the ramina. Done me don't wanna run too ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going use my face card. Used to run the road them real hard.
So this is without the exciter.
If me look back at dogs, them a tear face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah.
You understand? So that's without the exciter, with the exciter. So the only thing left to do is the lower. Let's try let's try the tape setting.
The door, my dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round,
listen to how the bass come up.
We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in a pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round, we a fuck that door. On your boss it on me got stamina.
Nice. Out of that, we're going to additive EQing. So we'll go into, let's try the vintage EQ. No matter what. Let's try the dynamic EQ. Of course, so add some more bands, as many as we can, which in this case is only 6, it look like. So fine, 6. Let's go dynamic. So now the point of this EQ is just to find stuff what we feel like we want, you know, like a bit, you know, more out there.
Any mix with the ramina. Done me down. Face card. Used to run the road them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round me, fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to, and if a girl come round me, fuck that door. On your boss it on me got stamina. Any mix with the ramina. Done me don't wanna run too ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going use my face card. Used to run the road. Dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a on ya, bust it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramming. Done me down, one around, two ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even two steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. On ya, bust it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramming. Done me down, one around, two ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even two steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me,
cool. So the thing with these is we can either set them to be upward compression or downward compression, right? So depending on the direction of the arrow, we'll light up. This will go down, this will go up. So we can add dynamics or we can, lower dynamics.
On ya, bust it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramming. Done me down, one around, two ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even two steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. On ya, bust it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramming. Done me down, one around, two ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even two steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket.
Perfect. So EQ, dynamics, saturation, EQ. Typically for me, go into limiting, right? So we'll keep all of that in the same perspective. But before we do that, we'll go into some imaging, right? Just to kind of spread out the track a little bit, right? So we'll go into the imager. Once again, same exact thing. So we're going to use the same exact crossover points. In this situation here, we have 192. We have 2.5K. And we have 8.1K. Cool. So we'll widen out the track. And it's very simple. All we do, we just raise or lower this. Up stereo, down mono.
One around, two ready for running, yeah. Me a fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round, me a fuck that door. I'm using face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even two steer right. If me look back at dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a girl come round me, I fuck that door.
And if you turn it off,
on ya, bust it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramming. Done me down, one around, two ready for running, yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even two steer right. If me look back, the dogs, them a tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a gal come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a gal come round me, I fuck that door.
Sounds amazing. Cool. So now we can go into maximizer or the limiter, whatever you want to call it. So the Ozone maximizer limiter is very, it's a very good. I actually like it, right? So you have the modes on the left, and if you hover over them, it tells you exactly what them do. You know, so intelligent release control, smooth and thick limiting for a rich sound with low latency. Cool. IRC1, you have intelligent, smooth and thick limiting for a rich sound. IRC2, clear and sharp limiting to preserve peaks. So we'll go with that. Then we don't press learn threshold, right? And we don't make it play pretty much majority of the song. We're going to set with ceiling. My ceiling typically minus 0.3. Cool. We don't do, and as far as the attack, we don't do more of a slow attack. So we're going to do probably like 5 or so. And then stereo independent. So basically what this do is like, you know how the track now go even, like the left and the right now go even all of the times. So basically stereo independence, I say, yo, look, don't trigger the compressor just because the left side go over and the right side not go over. You know what I mean? Try kind of keep them independent. Don't try keep them, the volume levels match, you know, make them do what them do. So we are going to do up on the transient, so I go up to about 20%. Let's take off sustain. I'll put the sustain about 40% actually. Cool. Then without just simply, we already have pressed learn threshold. Without set with ceiling, like I said, and basically it does set the threshold so it can keep a constant ceiling of minus 0.3. So once we press play, which would go back to the top for this, and you'll watch how the ceiling, the threshold change over time.
Yeah, I'm painting a picture. TrackStar. Yeah, chillin' in the field. So much ice on my wrist, my kind of feel frozen still. Man, I have to do the killing, even if I do the kill. Just look on him the wrong way, and one of the thugs, them I get him. Yeah. But right now, I be a pretty girl up on ya. Cuban girl from Havana, in the back of the little van ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer right. If me look back, the dogs, them I tearing face off.
Alright, one important thing I'm gonna forget to mention. We have to set the LUFS. So we have to set with LUFS. So typically, we are going for streaming minus 14. But if you are put this on CD or if you are fling it by YouTube or whatever, if you want to just load, you just aim for like minus 9, right? So we're going to put minus 9.
Yeah, I'm painting a picture. TrackStar. Yeah, chillin' in the field. So much ice on my wrist, my kind of feel frozen still. Man, I have to do the killing, even if I do the kill. Just look on him the wrong way, and one of the thugs, them I get him. Yeah. But right now, I be a pretty girl up on ya. Cuban girl from Havana, in the back of the little van ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even to steer right. If me look back, the dogs, them I tearing face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a gal come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust clock to. And if a gal come round me, I fuck that door.
Alright. So as you can see, it average out to about minus 7.2. Typically, you're supposed to make the song play all the way through, but we don't need to do that, right? I like we started this, so it average out to about minus 7.2. Cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just add one nice little fade in, add one nice little fade out, get rid of any clicks and pops, and then we're going to go file, we're going to go export audio files. The song is called the Riddim name Love Triangle, right? So we are going to export it 44 116-bit, and we're going to export it to the desktop. Cool. Everything else cool. Name enable dida. Yep. So press enable dida and then press OK. Should be a quick export. And then what we're going to do is in a FL now, we're going to drag in the mix version of the file here. Like that. So that's just the mix what we've been listening to the whole time. And then in a Ozone, once that done export, we are going to drag in the mastered version of the file, which just done. So let's drag this in our FL Studio. And now we can take a look at the before and the after. You understand what I say? The mix and the master. Mix, master. So now let's play. This is just the mix.
Yeah, I'm painting a picture. TrackStar. Yeah, chilling in the field. So much ice on my wrist, my kind of feel frozen still. Man, I have to do the killing, even if I do the kill. Just look on him the wrong way, and one of the thugs, them I get him. Yeah. But right now, I be a pretty girl up on ya. Cuban girl from Havana, in the back of the little on ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even too steer right. If me look back at dogs, them I tear face off.
And just to show you the difference, right? Let's normalize this. So it's louder now. And I think, oh, it sound the same. It no matter. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Let's pretty difference.
TrackStar. Yeah, chilling in the field. So much ice on my wrist, my kind of feel frozen still. Man, I have to do the killing, even if I do the kill. Just look on him the wrong way, and one of the thugs, them I get him. Yeah. But right now, I be a pretty girl up on ya. Cuban girl from Havana, in the back of the little on ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use my face card. Used to run the road, them real hard. Nigga can't even too steer right. If me look back at dogs, them I tear face off. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust Glock 2. And if a gal come round me, I fuck that door. We don't really give a fuck, bro. Money in the pocket, yeah, the door. My dogs know how fi bust Glock 2. And if a gal come round me, I fuck that door.
So this is just the Riddim by itself, you know. You understand what I say? That's the difference. Mix. Master. You understand what I'm saying? So until next time, it's your boy Itz-Beez-Da TrackStar. Peace.
Yeah, chilling in the field. So much ice on my wrist, my kind of feel frozen still. Man, I have to do the killing, even if I do the kill. Just look on him the wrong way, and one of the thugs, them I get him. Yeah. But right now, I be a pretty girl up on ya. Cuban girl from Havana, in the back of the little on ya. Boss it on me, got stamina. Any mix with dry ramina. Done me the own one around, too ready for running, oh yeah. Anywhere I'm going, use